The whole committee, Mr. Huffman is recognized for his 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and welcome to our witnesses. So when I heard that House Republicans were calling this hearing on wildfire preparedness and response, I was encouraged because I agree with the chairman and others. This is an important conversation. Catastrophic wildfires continue to tear through our communities. Today, fires are burning from Arizona to Minnesota, and it's early in the season. This committee is the place for a serious solutions-focused conversation about building wildfire resilience. But I am disappointed that once again, instead of confronting the full scope of the wildfire crisis or focusing on the most pressing science-based solutions and urgently needed investments in the built environment so we can actually protect communities, we seem to be having yet another hearing on a bill that's already passed this committee and already passed the House of Representatives. Now, Fix Our Forests has some good stuff in it. I acknowledge that. It also had some bad things in it that didn't need to be there, that were masquerading as fire solutions. But whether you think it's great or needs improvement, I don't think anyone seriously believes that it is the exhaustive and definitive statement of everything we need to do on this subject. But it seems to be the only thing that our friends across the aisle want to talk about. Look, if we're going to address this crisis seriously, we need a full accounting of the threats and the tools to confront it. And that really starts at the top with an acknowledgement that wildfires are burning hotter and faster and longer because of climate change. We've got to acknowledge this reality. Fire professionals who I have met with who have fought fires all over the West, they don't dispute it. They don't think it's a hoax or a conspiracy theory. They know climate change is a reality. So let's acknowledge that and also maybe stop making it worse, as our Republican colleagues are trying to do with the fossil fuel bonanza in their reconciliation bill. Look, fires are no longer just a problem for the West. Recent fires in Florida, Texas, and Arkansas are evidence that this has become a national crisis. Of course, we have fires in northern Minnesota burning today. Wildfires are also increasingly an urban issue, as the ranking member noted. Without major investments in home hardening and defensible spaces, communities will continue to be at risk no matter what we do in the backcountry, in the deep areas of our forests. We can't address these problems if we're not willing to invest the necessary funding and resources too. And that's why I am encouraged that our colleagues in the Senate seem to be making some improvements in the Fix Our Forest Act by incorporating many of these critical priorities that I'm mentioning. Now, that includes components of my Community Protection and Wildfire Resilience Act, which is a bipartisan bill that I was proud to recently reintroduce with Representative Obernolte in this Congress. It will help communities implement science-based wildfire mitigation strategies, provide crucial funding to design and implement new community protection and wildfire resilience plans with community members, first responders, and state agencies, and build on the investments that Democrats secured through the IIJA and the IRA. Now, these investments have allowed the Forest Service to do some very important things. They've hit record numbers for both hazardous fuel reductions and prescribed burns, increased the pace and scale of forest health treatments, provided important resources to strengthen and empower our wildland firefighting workforce. We were moving in the right direction, but unfortunately this progress has come to a screeching halt under the Trump administration. The experts and models tell us that we are headed into an especially active fire season, but Elon Musk and Doge have been gutting the agencies responsible for keeping our communities safe from fire at a time when we need them the most. At least 700 dedicated public servants at the Forest Service who support federal firefighting have been fired, and we know that more firings are coming. FEMA has lost a third of its full-time staff, including those specifically responsible for fire management. And Donald Trump has called for the elimination of FEMA entirely, which would eliminate the federal recovery help that comes with us. In a move that defies logic, the administration has blocked funding for projects that prevent wildfires. With community wildfire defense grants blocked, vital wildfire mitigation projects have been stopped, and that makes us more vulnerable. So I would hope that my Republican friends would want to do something about that instead of spending all our time talking about a bill that has already passed this committee and already passed the House. Wildfires are not partisan, but unfortunately our policies and our preparedness efforts too often seem to be, and that needs to change. I yield back.
Thank you, gentlemen. We're now going to go to our witnesses. I'll introduce us and then we'll start. So the first one is Mr. Dan Muncy, the Fire Chief and Fire Warden, San Bernardino County, Fire Protection District, San Bernardino, California. Next is Mr. Matt Weiner. Did I say it right? Yes. CEO, Mega Fire Action, Los Angeles, California. Mr. Neil Chapman, Wildfire and Fire Captain, Flagstaff Fire Department, Flagstaff, Arizona. Thank you. And Mr. Roy Wright, President and CEO, Insurance Institute for Business and Home